Yeah, we're just working away on the trunk of this car, and I just want to show people that, I just want to show people what goes on. I've made the quarter panels on the outside of the car on both sides, and I showed you how I made them, cut them off out of paper and all that stuff. Now I'm into the trunk where the quarter panel has to be connected. All this quarter panel has to be connected all the way along. And I've made metal all the way up and along there, and I show you how I done that. But here in the trunk here, I'll just show you, I got this piece in. It's called a trunk extension. And what I have done is I've taken a piece of cardboard and I slid it down inside that trunk, and I've traced this. I've traced that shape. And then what I've done is, see this here, that makes that shape. That gives me the shape of the side of that trunk. I made that. So what I did is I took a 90 and I laid it on top, and I welded it all the way along the top of it, and I came in and I set it down on top of my trunk panel where it was rotten, where it was with that big tire bar. There's a big mess of stuff in there. I'll give you 1 second. I'll show you one half. Like this is what I ripped out. Like that's all tire. I'm gonna tell you something. The worst thing in life is tire and metal. But anyways, I got that ripped out. To replace that, I just made a panel. This is where most people get. It ruins people. Once the quarter panels are done and the trunk extension's done, people think it's over. It's not over. It's easy shit. Anybody can do it. Just make paper panel. Like make paper and weld metal together. It's so basic. I hate to say that, but we made a little pattern down there. I put cardboard down there and I traced the quarter panel off the bottom side so I know it fit exactly. So this on this side right here, this is what I got. This stuff does not scare me. You know, if you know what I'm saying? Like this is the trunk panel. Come here and it went down to 90, and they both went together and spot weld together, and that go down the quarter panel, hold the quarter panel on. I've got the metal all welded up around the wheel well. I've got that done now. Now I'm starting to take this part out. Well, that's just already got this pattern, right? I know that. So before you even cut it out, I could make a piece to fit that. If you know what I'm saying. I'll just go over there. I know that it's rotten 2 inches on the top, so I'll make the top 2.5. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll take that panel, I will set that down in there, and I will trim that to my quarter panel to make it fit. If you know what I'm saying. If I want to put a bead roller and put a line in, I can do that if I want to. And another thing too, I do a lot of body work on cars, and there's usually a budget on all the cars, and you have to get stuff done. The quicker you decide to use the paper and make the panel and get it done, the quicker the job gets done. Alright, I'm going to make this panel. Piece of piss. It's not over when they're rusted. If I can do it, you can do it. There's a little mess right here. It does not, it's some metal they repaired there before. There must be a little hole in there. They got tire on the other side. I'm going to camouflage that. I'll put a little filler over top of that. It does not leak, it's not rotten, everything's good there. I'll put a little filler over top of that. I will camouflage, you can't see that. I will come in here, I will seam seal that so it looks factory. And when I put this piece in, I'll come in here and seam seal that piece so it looks factory. And when I get done this trunk, you're gonna love it. All right, this is what I'm gonna show you. Anybody can do this. Anybody that has an old car, they can detail their trunk. Anybody can do this. I'm telling you right now. Rock guard. This is what you do. This is what I've done. I put a piece in there. I've tacked all this stuff in here with welder. I tacked it all in. I didn't drill holes in, spot it down, because sometimes it breaks off, and I don't like that. So where I'm seam sealing it and I'm hiding it, I can just tack it on the side of the metal. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to drill that hole because I am seam sealing it anyways. In the end, the best body man is the man that can disguise it the best, if you know what I'm saying. It has to look like it's never been fixed, never been touched. You know what I'm saying? That's the body man you want. You know, and, you have to realize you have to have a good job done all the way. But in the end, you want to look like it never been fixed. There was a couple patches here popped in there. I didn't take them out. It would waste her money if I did that. They were sealed in there. There was nothing wrong with them. Nothing was going anywhere. But what I did is I took a little bit of filler and covered over top of them rivets so you couldn't tell. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how you can make a trunk beautiful. This stuff here is factory. Like all that glue shit, that's factory. That's what it looked like factory. So I'm going to, listen, you're going to need a new pair of shorts when I'm done with this. So can of rock there. Watch. I'm not worried about anything on this car because the roof's coming off. It doesn't matter. so don't fret. And what this black rock guard is for exactly like paint, because I am going to put something different on this than just black rock guard. It's going to have, I'm going to put some trunk paint on it. Me and my sexy are going to go to town, have din-din, talk about how much we love each other, and then we'll come back and we'll spray it again. But this is the deal. So get it black first, clean it all out. This stuff here I used to seal everything up again is seam sealer. When you go in the trunk of a car and you see all that stuff that doesn't look nice, that's called seam sealer, you know? But I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to put a little rock guard on that. Look how that looks compared to the first video. You would never know that someone had repaired that. And that is my job. My job is to make it look the best it can look. And anybody can do this. This is a can of rock guard. Clean your trunk out. Get a can of rock guard. Black it out. And I'll show you. You will love me in the end, I guarantee it. Where the quarter panel went on, I seam sealed it. There was a little lip. It was a half-inch lip. I seam sealed it. If I butt welded that on, it would be hell of a mess because you'd have to grind the weld off on the inside. Where that lip is like that, I can just seam seal that. And we all know, or if we don't all know, on these cars in the 60s, I think the inside of these things were insulated with tar. I'm pretty sure. I'm not. I mean, I've dug enough of it off in this car, so I'm thinking they were pretty well tarred up from the factory, is what I'm thinking. This quarter panel had a bunch of shit built up on the inside for insulation. I don't know what you call it, but it seemed like tar to me. That's the new piece I put in there. And all I'm doing is blacking this out. I'm going to keep blacking this out. And then when you see it next time, I'll have the different color stuff. I'm sorry I'm yelling because sometimes people say they can't hear. But I'll black it out, and then I'll use the other stuff, and then you'll see what this trunk will look like. And it'll absolutely look perfect. And it's not finished yet, so you just wait. And anybody can do this. Clean your trunk out, get some rock guard, get some seam sealer, seam seal up all the seams, rock guard it, and I'll show you. We'll be back in a little bit. So we've put the rock guard on. It all went black, the way it should have. So what I've done now is I went to town. I usually buy this stuff called Stone It. And I couldn't find it, so anyways, we ended up going to town. We found some trunk paint called, some doopy color called trunk paint. That's all I put in there on top of that. And the only reason I painted that black first is because to cover things up. You got to have a base to cover things up. So I have sprayed some of this on here, and you have to take your time doing this stuff because it just takes time. You don't want to do it from close. You want to do it from a distance. And that is how it looks like. You know what I mean? It's just a nice white, gray, black, what you would get originally in a car. I see I have some reacting in places where it has reacted. Doesn't matter, because I can go back in and fix it with this stuff, because it's so, you know what I mean? It's so, it camouflages so well. I mean, come here, take a look at this, the trunk there, where I fixed the wheel. You can't never tell like that was ever fixed, or someone would look at that and would never know, right? Like that's what you want. And the damn thing took off. I mean, things don't happen always the way you want it to happen. There was some glue on the top of that trunk there. Just take a look at it. Let's show how things go. There was some glue on the top of there, if you remember, right? We scraped at it, we ground at it and everything else. Now I spray this trunk paint on and it wants to stand up like that. Well, thank you very much. So that just shows you how I have to go back in there and I'll have to fix that. But this stuff is so transparent, just swipe it off and fix it. But that's how you would make a nice trunk. Put a little bit of rock guard in it. Let it dry. Put some of this in it. You're going to have to probably put some clear coat over top of it. But yeah, it's beautiful. Like, you would never know that trunk has ever been fixed. That's the point of the game. Have a good Friday.